Hi, I'm here to help you make these beautiful wall hangings from McKenna Ryan and Hoffman Fabrics, Home, Love, and Hope. This is a kit that you can purchase through Renee's House of Quilting in Williamsburg, and I'll give you the connection for that in the description so that you can call her and order one of these for yourself. After doing the first one, I thought perhaps it would be helpful to you if I shared my tips with you. So the first thing that I want to show you is the tools that you are going to need. Obviously you're going to need the pattern. I was able to get the kit from Renee, so I didn't have to hunt down all these beautiful fabrics because they came in the kit. But you're going to need the pattern, the fabric, either this lovely kit that you're able to purchase, or find those fabrics from Hoffman at your local quilt store. You need a Ziploc bag, and that's to hold on to the pieces that you're going to cut out from your applique, for your applique. You're going to need some small sharp scissors. These are Kay Buckley scissors. What I like about these scissors are you probably can't see it, but there's a little serration on each one of the blades. What that does is as you cut, it's like you're using mini pinking shears, and it keeps the fabric from raveling so badly. I use a Pigma pen. I like a Pigma pen because it doesn't bleed and it doesn't smear. I happen to use red because that's what I had and use the least of, so I was going to use it for my applique. You need some tweezers. There are some little tiny pieces, and these will be invaluable for you to hang on to, those little tiny pieces. You're going to need a light box. You definitely need a light box. This happens to be the light box from CutterPillar, and it's a very awesome light box. It's flat, it's lightweight. You can lay your pattern over that. You can see through it clearly for your tracing. The next item that you need is a applique pressing sheet. What this is a, I believe it's a silicone sheet, and you need to make some motifs. So for these center hydrangea wreaths, those will be put together before they're actually placed on your background. So this applique pressing sheet is how you do that technique. So you're going to need that. You'll need some just plain old Scotch tape, and that's to tape your placement guide to with. You're also going to need some fusible web. I have a bolt of Heat and Bond Light, and that's what I use, and she does recommend a light fusible web. Your pattern consists of 3 sheets, and this is newsprint type paper. And the first sheet that you're going to use is the cutting guide. This is the sheet that you're going to use to trace your applique pattern onto your fusible web. If you've not done this before, what you do is you take your fusible web, you lay it over the design. This is the paper side of the fusible web up. The rough side is against your pattern. And on your light box, so you have your light box turned on, that'll illuminate this pattern for you, and then take your Pigma pen and trace on those lines. Also include the numbers so that you know which piece this is. I also write on there what fabric this is to be cut from, and then I section that off. So this whole section here would be from this MRD 9-33 cream, and so on. The other piece of paper that you're going to get in there is a placement guide. This actually comes one piece folded up, and then you cut it in half, and you can see on there where those crosshairs are. It says align with notch on bottom page. So in other words, there's a notch on both sides, and then you just have one over the other. You can see I ripped it, but I taped it together, and this is my placement guide. The other thing, if you purchase the kit comes with a diagram showing you the fabrics that are contained in the kit, where they're used, their numbers, and the amount that is provided in the kit. It also gives you suggestions for the backing for these, and it gives you the binding. So in this kit, what I did then was I separated the binding. So these three pieces that are in here are the binding pieces that I'll use for the wall hangings. And then I separated out all the fabrics, unfolded them, looked them over, measured them, and then on the selvage of the fabric, this one here is MRD 11-410, and if you look on here, MRD 11-410 is Earl Grey, and it's that floral. It's used for applique in Hope, and it's 1/8 of a yard. So go through your fabrics, familiarize yourself with them, write on there what they are, and note what they look like on your little legend here, so that when you start off you don't accidentally cut out the wrong piece, or the right piece on the wrong fabric, or the wrong fabric on the right piece, whatever. What I did is very roughly cut out that very pretty hydrangea flower, and I took it and I laid it on my light box. So now I can see that pretty good. Well, the real test is putting this on it, and again it kind of covers it up, but if you flip it over you can see it better. You can see what is supposed to go where. So you see that red line? That's the outside of the applique piece that needs to be ironed to the wrong side of this fabric. These all have these big leaves, and that's a real good landmark, plus the stem. So what you do, I'm going to have to put the camera down, but I'll show you when I'm finished. What I do is I line that up just as closely as I could. I'll stop shaking the camera here. And then I took a pin and just put it in one place to hold it. Right next to me I have my iron station here. So there's my little iron. There's my wool pressing mat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pin this to the applique piece that's behind it, move it over here and press it. So when you hold your hand down on here, see, it shows even better. And the two landmarks that I used, or actually three that I used for each one of these hydrangeas, were these three petals. This one, and this one. They're universal to all of them. Whoops, I just turned my light box off. So now I've just put a little pin up in here. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to iron, just give it one of these to hold it so I can take the pin out. Take that pin out. And then I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to do my Mississippi 1, Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi 4, Mississippi 5. And continue that until I have that applique piece of fusible web on the wrong side of my hydrangea. Okay? And you can see I should have been using my applique pressing sheet because I got some of that fusible web on my wool, but it scraped off. So now I'm going to set that aside, continue all the way through and get them all ready, and then I go upstairs in my comfy chair and sit and cut them out from this side, obviously, right on that line, and I'll show you those in a minute. This is piece number 6 after I've cut it all out. So you can see those are the red tracings left. Some are cut off, there's a little bit left, and I leave the number on there until I'm ready to go and actually place it on the placement guide, which is included in the pattern. So here's my light box lit. On top of that I have the placement guide, And then over that, this little shiny thing, this is the applique pressing sheet. And if I smooth this out so you can see it, there's number 6 up there. I peeled the paper off, so now all I have is just the actual piece of fabric with the fusible on the back. And I'm going to lay that, and again, use those leaves for your landmarks because you'll see them quite clearly. See the leaves, 1, 2, 3 leaves. So you're going to take and put that right over and scoot it in place. Now, you know, you can fuss with that a little bit, but then you're going to put your other pieces. So in this case, piece number 3 would be the letter O, and then you're going to slip your other ones. Some go underneath, some go on top. Once you get that all laid out on top of your placement, double check it with your the cover of your pattern to make sure it looks like what she did. Then you take it. When you do that, you want to do an up-down motion. Don't slide the iron. Pick it up and move it. Up, down, up, down. I have all of those applique pieces in place on top of the applique pressing sheet, which is over the placement guide. Okay, now I have one big O with the hydrangeas on it. I'm going to carefully peel it off of this applique pressing sheet, and it'll be ready to place on my background. So as I said, I carefully peeled it off, and I have one big O that I now will be able to place on my background. But first of all, I'm going to put the L. This happens to be the love, so I'm going to put the L on first. So you can see here, I made this complete O with the bird on it on my applique pressing sheet. So I had one big applique when I was ready to fuse it to my background fabric. This is the one that I just demonstrated to you. This is love, and now I'll be working on the last one.